Based on the chilling true story of Helios Airways Flight 522, this is the story of a flight that fell silent, its passengers and crew slipping into a deep, unnatural sleep as their plane flew aimlessly through the sky, a steel tomb piloted by ghosts. It was a day like any other. The 14th of August, 2005. A sun-drenched morning in Larnaca, Cyprus. The passengers of Helios Airways Flight 522 were filled with the quiet anticipation of travel, a trip to Prague, a stop in Athens. They were a mix of families returning from holidays, students, and locals, all entrusting their lives to the sleek Boeing 737 waiting on the tarmac. But they were unaware of a single fatal oversight. A switch, no bigger than a thumbnail, left in the wrong position. A silent harbinger of the chilling fate that awaited them in the skies. As the aircraft ascended, a strange cold began to seep into the cabin, a chill that had nothing to do with the altitude. The air thinned, not with the clean, recycled breath of a modern airliner, but with something else, something ancient and predatory. The passengers, one by one, began to feel a heavy lethargy, their thoughts clouding over, their bodies surrendering to a deep, unnatural slumber. The cabin, once filled with the gentle hum of conversation, fell into a profound and unnerving silence. In the cockpit, the pilots fought a losing battle against an invisible enemy. Their instruments, once a familiar language, now seemed to mock them with nonsensical warnings. A cacophony of alarms blared, their insistent cries lost on ears that could no longer process the urgency. Hypoxia, the silent killer of the skies, was claiming them. Their last, garbled transmission to the ground spoke not of a pressure failure, but of a cooling system malfunction, then nothing. The voices of the living were replaced by the steady, indifferent hum of the engines. For hours, Flight 522 flew on, a ghost ship in the high heavens. It entered Greek airspace, a silent, unresponsive intruder. Air traffic controllers, their calls met with an unnerving void, watched the phantom blip on their radar with a growing sense of dread. Fighter jets were scrambled, their pilots tasked with intercepting the rogue aircraft. What they found would haunt them for the rest of their days. The fighter pilots drew alongside the silent Boeing. Through the passenger windows, they saw a scene of macabre stillness. Men, women, and children, their heads slumped against the seats, their faces placid, as if in a peaceful dream. Oxygen masks, like grotesque yellow flowers, had deployed from the ceiling, yet none were worn. The cabin was a tableau of suspended life, a chilling portrait of a flight lost to the world. But then, a flicker of movement. A figure, unsteady and ghostly, emerged from the cabin's gloom and entered the cockpit. It was a flight attendant, Andreas Prodromou. Kept conscious by a portable oxygen tank, he was the sole witness to the silent horror that had unfolded. The fighter pilots watched, helpless, as this lone, brave soul tried to wrestle control of the dying giant. His desperate mayday calls, a voice from a tomb, were picked up by the fighter pilot's radios. 5 times he cried for help, his voice a strained whisper against the roar of the wind. But it was too late. The engines, starved of fuel, began to fail, their powerful roar sputtering into a death rattle. The plane, its long, silent vigil over, began its final, graceful descent towards the sun-scorched hills of Grammatico. The wreckage was a scar on the landscape, a testament to the tragedy that had unfolded in the silent, unforgiving skies. For the 121 souls on board, their journey had ended not in Prague, but in a quiet corner of Greece. They were the victims of a simple mistake, a forgotten switch. But in the eerie silence of their final hours, as they flew on as a ghost flight, their story became a chilling reminder of the fragility of life and the thin veil between our world and the spectral silence that lies beyond. The veil between the known and the unknown is thinner than we think. We'll be crossing it again soon. To make sure you're with us, subscribe now and enable all notifications. More true horror awaits.